welterweight division, seemingly the most famous weight class in the sport of boxing since the early 1980s, is looking to reconstruct and bring the best for the division in the next years to come. The PBC platform has showcased the very best in the weight class for quite a number of years, solidifying its stature as the go-to platform for the most intriguing welterweight matchups. Top Rank's promoter Bob Arum, who established a relationship with ESPN, had brought his colleague fighter to their network, has showcased he has the best skilled fighter in the weight class in Terence Crawford, who's been looking for a key mark matchup in the scale with the elites to prove he is number one. So the day is soon approaching to face the rugged pit bull in Showtime Shawn Porter. The PBC fighter and former two-time world champion is an elite contender seeking to showcase and display growth in his mental IQ with boxing attributes to show away and conquer perhaps the number one best pound-for-pound fighter in the world and place his name amongst the wall of the highest. Welcome to the breakdown. Showtime Shawn Porter versus Terence Bud Crawford. Yeah, there shall be cracks in the pavement and a solar eclipse come November 20th. Ladies and gentlemen, as we finally get to witness perhaps the pound-for-pound figure in the sport of boxing, Terence Crawford, have his day and walk down the aisle to defend his WBO 147-pound title against an elite welterweight contender and former two-time champion, Showtime Shawn Porter, in what should be a classic in the making. What's happening, everyone? I am your host, Nice. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you do. For the latest boxing news, feedback, and entertainment. We all have been waiting for this day, ladies and gentlemen. Bud has been waiting for such a day as well, and finally we get to see him with one of the best, no question. Shawn Porter is an elite as an elite can get. Very credible resume, fought the very, very best at the 147-pound weight class, the highest level of competition and top quality opposition since his starting career with Al Heyman and PBC. On the other hand, Crawford had a better career at 140, then moved to the 147-pound division. We all know and understand, Top Rank fell short to PBC with good top-level welterweights. No comparison when it comes to the division. Crawford's saga since stepping into the welterweight class, has not been exciting as we anticipated. The knockouts he has accumulated were pleasing to the eyes nonetheless. He would purposely please the fans as he always looks to finish the fight with a bang. Clearly one of the best finishers in the sport, no doubt. We should all agree on that. Now he is in with an aggressive pit bull when out of his leash, Porter. And I say that because, of his style and how he fights and whatnot. Naturally a fighter more than a boxer, though he has implemented some boxing fundamentals to his tool bag and, two previous bouts, the one with Danny Garcia and your Dennis Ugas. Truly the most he has implemented that type of style to his arsenal. And we can all agree on that. Now y'all can go back to those two fights and see that, Porter was boxing more than, being that pit bull. And did it work for him? Not necessarily. He looked very vulnerable in them two fights. We can all agree on that as well. Now with the Danny Garcia fight and Porter, Danny actually had the better shots, honestly, the harder shots. But with that being said, Porter went away, boxed around, did what he had to do, and won the fight. But besides the fact, he is not a boxer, he is more of a fighter slugger. We know that. And to the credit of Porter, a complete boxer in my opinion. His style is unmatched with anyone in the welterweight division. I think that he has the best skills in that weight class, no question. So we could all agree or disagree on that term. Now is his time, his chance to prove that he belongs in the weight class with these elites. Now, we all know, as it has been mentioned, that this could be Crawford's potentially last bout with Top Rank, and we know that Top Rank is the one that is promoting this matchup with Porter and Crawford. Now, I think the reason being is because Crawford should be leaving Top Rank. Now, they have asked him this question in recent interviews, and he didn't state anything, but he said, the only thing he said is, we'll see what happens. So in other words, it's looking like it can be a possibility that, after this matchup, he will sign with PBC. Reason being, if he does win, and he wants the best top fights, as we know, elite fights, he's gonna have to go with PBC Al Haymon. So with that being said, I believe that after this fight, he will sign with them, But with Porter, now, let's talk Porter. Porter, exceptional fighter, has been getting better and better every matchup. He has a lot in his tool bag, and we know Kenny Porter is prepping him very, very well for this matchup. Kenny Porter, a good trainer as well, has a lot of ring IQ into prepping his son for this matchup, and he knows Bomac quite well, and he says that Crawford is an elite fighter for sure, and one of the best fighters that he has seen, and has tons of respect for him. So both trainers respect each other, Bomac and Kenny, and of course the fighters themselves, Porter and Crawford. So with that being said, a good matchup, absolutely. Now let's get into the stats. Now, Terence Crawford, 37 wins, no defeats, 28 by knockout. Shawn Porter, 31 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw, ladies and gentlemen. 1 draw, 17 by knockout. Crawford, 34 years of age, and we see Porter only 33. 5'8" for Crawford, 5'7" for Porter. And it looks like, to me, Crawford looks a little bit taller than 5'8" and 5'7" compared to Porter, but 147 weight for Crawford, we know that, and Porter walks around like 160, 165 average, so 74-inch reach for Crawford and 69.5 for Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter with the shorter length reach, Crawford with the advantage there. Crawford holding the WBO title, and Porter is looking to capture it. Now, for the speed, power, stamina, chin, fighter, offense, and whatnot, here it is. I got Crawford 4.5 stars, ladies and gentlemen, for speed. He does have good speed, and definitely faster than Porter with 3.5 stars. Power, I have to emphasize Crawford's power. They say that he doesn't have power, but he does have power. Look at his resume. He's been knocking out everybody he has faced for a while, for a long time now. Check it out. Power for Shawn Porter, 3.5 stars. Y'all might be shocked, but this is how I see it. He does have power, but I believe Crawford has more power. And we're going to see that in this matchup, but moving on. Stamina. They both have exceptional stamina. They can bang, they can last, they can stay there, and they hardly get tired, man. So they're in that stamina aspect, they evenly match there. As far as chin goes, both as well, 4 stars and 4 stars. They've been tested with their chins, and they proved that they have somewhat good chins. Defense, Crawford 4 stars, Porter 3.5. Crawford just a little bit better in defense, footwork or whatnot, so we'll have to give him the edge on that note. Offense, I have to credit Porter with 4 stars, and I have to give Crawford 5 stars, ladies and gentlemen. To me, Crawford has the upper hand in offense, and Porter has great offense as well. When he's the bully and the banger and the go forward pressure aggressive fighter, he has that. Fighter overall, I have to give 5 stars to Crawford. Crawford is exceptional, we know that, and I'm not going to keep implementing that. Y'all already know. I have to give Porter 4 stars. Good fighter, good elite fighter overall. So this is what it's coming down to, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as far as their fundamentals, Porter, an aggressive pressure fighter, we all know, muscles his way to the inside of his oppositions and bangs away with heavy body shots, smothers his opponents to the ropes, and proceeds to throw thudding headshots with pressuring combination punches, can impute some boxing if need be, can come off patient at times, then can explode. But his style is seemingly, come forward, pressure, 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 aggression, aggression, aggression. Now with Crawford, his fundamentals we know, a skillful top-level fighter without a shadow of a doubt, with exceptional offense, in my opinion, very high ring IQ, a poised, patient fighter who sets up his jab to open for ripping combination punching, well-placed footwork in and out of the pocket, excellent in timing and punches with results, imputes action throughout the bout. So yes, a high-level matchup. Crawford has been daring to step in with the present best and fire away to display his utmost superior skills against an elite figure. Now Porter, well proven in the weight class, has his chance once again to become champion and place his stamp certified. Now my conclusion to this fight. First, a classic I believe we are in for, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a treat for us, I believe, for those that love the sweet science of the game. Now, my breakdown. A subtle start in the opening bell from both counterparts. Crawford will study Porter early on. Porter will somewhat be hesitant to throw, expecting the counters from Crawford. Crawford will implement his jab. Porter will maneuver around it and try to take some shots at Crawford. The action begins from there on, ladies and gentlemen. Porter will try to muscle Crawford down the line. Crawford will adjust quickly, start breaking Porter down, and late in the match, implement his arsenal to go for the stoppage. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am concluding that Crawford will stop Shawn Porter late after the 9th round. Now why I say that? Crawford has power, exceptional skills, we know that. Has been stopping everyone as of late for quite a while, like I stated earlier, and I believe that he has the skills, regimen, tools, and power to implement that on Shawn Porter. Now, I am not taking nothing away from Shawn Porter, an excellent elite fighter and absolutely one of my favorites to watch. But I believe that Crawford is very superior in knowledge, in timing, and skills, and can implement that with his power to put away the rough and rugged Shawn Porter. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Porter is at his absolute best. The Spence fight was a very, very, very close matchup. We could agree or disagree on that. Porter had some of his best moments in that fight, in his career, in my opinion. So, they could have gave it to Porter as well. Porter did absolutely great. If it wasn't for that drop, that knockdown, then it could have been either a draw or they could have gave it to Porter because it was that close. Now, what can Porter implement to take away Crawford's jab in mid-range boxing position? What can he do? He has to go inside. He cannot stay at mid-range. To the credit of Porter, he's going to have to dog it out with Crawford, and try to muscle him on, but with caution. He cannot try to outbox Crawford, no way, because Crawford has the longer length and the more superior skills, we know that. So if he tries to implement some type of boxing, he's going to have to be on point against Crawford. Also, he's going to have to be careful on lunging in on Crawford. We know that Porter likes to lunge in at times, try to throw his hooks or whatnot, and Crawford has a very, very good uppercut, and he can get caught. So he needs to be careful on that note. Now, what can Crawford do to stay away from the rough and rugged Porter in his style? He's going to have to, of course, use his footwork, his jab, mid-range, keep him away, and just outbox him because he knows how to do that very, very well. Ladies and gentlemen, a classic in the making. Could it be a chess match or a war? I am going to say that it's going to be a war, ladies and gentlemen. Don't miss it. November 20th at the Mandalay Bay, live on ESPN pay-per-view. Showtime Shawn Porter trying to capture the WBO title against the reigning champ and defender, Terence Crawford. You already know, I am your host, Nice. Like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. Want to thank my subscribers for being a subscriber. More things coming your way. Thank you once again. Make sure, most of all, don't forget to share the fight room.